My story starts in Arizona a year ago. Like he said, I made this decision. I got relocated out there with a corporate restaurant where I had no friends, no family, and after a lot of accomplishments and accolades, I then had no job. So this was my backyard, Mount Wallapai in Arizona. It sounds really flattering, super awesome, but I got to look at that a couple days after I lost my job and realized that this wasn't where I wanted to make an impact. So I decided to hit the road and travel the Southwest, everywhere from Utah to Colorado, and of course Arizona. At the time of my life, in such a small part of the world. And so I one day found myself looking over the edge of a canyon, and I looked and I felt on top of the world, traveling with my sister and brother-in-law. And I didn't know what to do, so I jumped anyways and traveled down this rabbit hole, which has been the last year of my life. At this point, with my sister and brother-in-law in their RV, we got lost. We were traveling around, went on this hike in Prescott, Arizona, and behind these two big boulders and behind a lake, I was asked the question, what do you want to do? With all the capabilities in the world, what would you do? And this question has plagued me since then. So I found myself in front of a cave where I was staring into this abyss, and I had to swallow my pride and really go back to my roots and figure out what I wanted to do. After pondering this question, I watched the sunset for the first time on the West Coast in San Diego. And I figured out I was going to move back to Wichita and help facilitate and expand local food systems. But where to start? I'm going to start with keeping a promise to this guy, Gary. Okay, Gary was my neighbor, my one friend in Arizona that I connected with. I made a promise that I would move him whenever he was ready to move, which happened to be shortly after I moved. So we packed his stuff up, moved out to Wickenburg, Arizona, and where he was employed with Vulture Mine. There, we would spend a couple Saturdays. I learned how to drive a bulldozer and move some dirt, and really I loved digging in the dirt. I found myself alone in the desert shortly after that. Not because I needed to be alone in the desert, but because I had the choice to be alone in the desert. I ended up plowing fields out there. It was me, a bulldozer, a tractor, a fifth wheel, and a bunch of diesel. I built a pole barn out there for agriculture and winery, fields for grapes for wineries. It was amazing, in 2 weeks. And what it was to become was, it was going to provide food. And for some people that meant health. And for some people that meant camaraderie. And for some people and for every people, it means something different to provide that food. So here I am, back in Wichita, after this experience. That 2 weeks really gave me a great idea of what I wanted to do. And I wanted to bring that culture that already existed in Wichita to the Wichitans in it. So I stand in front of Flogging Molly and I have this bright idea. I'm going to see if this exists somewhere else and I'm going to replicate it, but fit it to Wichita. So there's all these people in front of me and all these people that I love and care about. And we are here, home on the range, trying to figure out what to do with ourselves, trying to figure out why we sit back and go, Wichita sucks, or there's nothing to do in Wichita. Well, there's so much to do in Wichita. There's so much to do. And in this circle that we have created, that my organization have created, there's so many food systems within here that we're going to bring into Wichita, that we're going to help facilitate their growth into Wichita. And it's going to create this design for people to open businesses, open activities, and flourish within itself, the economic growth and all that stuff. Saying that, it's never been about the food circle, and it's never been about the food itself. It's never been about anything else. With this journey, I'm still plagued with the question, what are you passionate about? I'm developing myself every day as a leader through the help of the people around me. From Wichita to food to farmers to business and entrepreneurship, the things that I have more faith and commitment to are the people within our community. Thank you. Thank you, CSB.